Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. And today we're going to be looking at something pretty interesting. It's called the Liat Show. Have you heard of it?
I have, yeah. I've seen some of her stuff on YouTube, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and get this. So the show already has listeners in like 75 countries and 31 U.S. states. So pretty crazy, right?
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, and we got a lot of a lot of different stuff to go through today to help us understand just what this show's all about. We've got some articles, podcast episodes, even some listener feedback. So let's just dive right in. So what is the Liat Show?
Well, it's a really kind of an interesting mix of things. It's part personal story, part like deep dive into Israeli culture. You know, there's music, there's food, there's all this stuff about the arts, even entrepreneurship and history.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So kind of a lot going on. A lot of different things all mixed together.
Yeah, it's a real unique blend, that's for sure.
Yeah. And it's not just the content either, right? It's the way Liat, who's the creator of the show, it's the way she delivers it. Like she actually publishes episodes as she's making them. So
Yeah.
you kind of get this feeling like you're right there with her as she's creating it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it's like a work in progress that you get to see unfold.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you can find her work at a bunch of different places, actually. She's got written stuff on Substack, on Medium,
Ah.
and then her podcast is on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's kind of all over the place.
So she's really embracing those platforms for independent creators.
Yeah,
That's great.
totally. And, Substack is a platform where writers can, like, publish newsletters and stuff
Right.
directly to subscribers, and then Patreon.
Yeah.
That's where creators can build, like, a community of fans who support them financially.
It's a great way to build a closer connection with your audience.
Yeah, for sure. And Liat herself is, she's kind of an interesting person. Some people call her a first of her kind. Some even describe her as an architect.
An architect.
Yeah, but not of buildings, like an architect of experiences.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Yeah, she designs these elaborate experiences for her audience.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really unique way to think about it.
And what's so cool is how she weaves all these seemingly unrelated things together.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't think they would fit, but she makes these really compelling narratives.
Yeah, I've noticed that. She can connect like ancient history with modern tech startups.
Yeah, totally. Wild.
Bridges different worlds.
Makes you think about things from a whole new perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And it kind of makes you wonder where she gets this talent from, right? Like, how does she do this?
Right.
Well, it turns out her father was an architect and her mother was a storyteller.
Oh, wow. So she kind of has it in her blood.
Yeah, maybe it's in her genes or something.
Fascinating how that kind of comes together.
Yeah, it's really cool. And, that unique background really comes through in her work. And she actually also has a background in industrial engineering and management and even a master's degree in business administration.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's got like the analytical side too.
Yeah, so she brings this analytical mind to her storytelling, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. An engineer turned storyteller.
Mm.
I mean, you don't see that every day.
Definitely not. It's a pretty unique combination.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And you see that analytical side come out when she breaks down complex topics like the Israeli tech scene, for example, or if she's diving into some historical event.
Yeah, she can really get into the details. But it's not just like her intellect, that's drawing people in. She also has this amazing ability to connect with people
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
from all walks of life.
No matter what your background is, no matter what you believe.
You feel like you can relate to her.
Yeah, it's like she has this ability to make you feel like you're part of the conversation, like you're just sitting down, having a cup of coffee with a friend.
Yeah.
And at the same time, she's tackling these really big questions. One of the things that comes up a lot in her work is this question of, will I make it on time?
Interesting.
Like it's this puzzle that she's inviting her audience to try and solve, piece by piece.
Ooh, that's so cool. Yeah, I love that.
It really makes you want to dive deeper into her work and see if you can figure out the answer.
Totally. And speaking of diving deeper, Liat's actually calling for support to help her take the show to the next level. She's looking for founding members and annual members on Patreon, subscribers on Substack, just anyone who believes in what she's doing and wants to support her.
Yeah, and for anyone who might be wondering why they should support her, I mean, it's important to remember that independent creators like Liat, they really rely on the support of their audience to be able to keep making the content that we all love.
Yeah, that's so true. And there are a lot of ways to show your support. You can subscribe for free on Substack or become a paid member on Patreon to get, exclusive content.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Or even just subscribe and review the podcast on platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, that's a great way to help independent creators. Even just leaving a review can make a huge difference. It helps them gain visibility, reach a wider
For
audience.
sure. It's like you're giving them a vote of confidence
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
hey, this is worth checking out.
It's a signal to other people that this is something special.
Yeah. And don't forget YouTube. If she reaches 1,000 subscribers there, she'll be eligible for a Rising Star Award nomination.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah. I mean, imagine what that kind of recognition could do for her career.
It could really open up a lot of doors for her.
Totally. And, it's clear that her work is already resonating with people across the globe. I mean, remember, there are listeners tuning in from 75 countries and 31 U.S. states.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the universal appeal of her stories.
Exactly. So Liat's work is clearly tapping into something universal, something that speaks to people from all walks of life. But what exactly is it that makes her so mesmerizing? Let's dive into that a little further.
Well, I think part of it is just her personality. She's got this really unique blend of passion and intellect and humor. She can tackle some pretty complex topics, but she does it in a way that keeps you engaged and entertained.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned humor. I was actually reading through some listener feedback earlier, and one of the things that kept coming up was Liat's ability to make you laugh, even when she's talking about serious stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely one of her strengths. She's got this knack for finding the absurdity in everyday life.
Yeah.
And she uses it to connect with her audience on like a deeper level.
Totally. And it's not just her humor either, right? She's also incredibly genuine and vulnerable in her storytelling. Like, she doesn't shy away from sharing her own struggles and triumphs, which makes her even more relatable.
Absolutely. I think that's what makes the Liat Show so refreshing. It's not your typical polished, perfectly curated podcast. It feels real, raw, authentic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're getting a glimpse into her real life.
And that authenticity is what allows her to connect with people from all over the world. Remember, we're talking 75 countries, 31 U.S. states.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it speaks to the power of personal storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Liat's stories are specific to her own experiences, but they also tap into these universal themes that resonate with people from all walks of life.
Totally. It's like she's holding up a mirror to humanity and saying, hey, we're all in this together. Let's laugh together, cry together, learn from each other.
I love that. One of the things that really struck me about the Liat Show is the way she structures her episodes. It's not your typical linear format.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, she releases them in sets focusing on specific topics. It's almost like chapters in a book.
Yeah, it's more like a serialized story.
Exactly.
With each episode building on the last.
It definitely keeps you hooked, wanting to hear what happens next.
Totally. You can't just jump in anywhere.
Right.
You have to experience the whole journey to fully appreciate it.
And that journey takes us through all sorts of fascinating terrain. One moment, we might be exploring the history of Israeli music. The next, we're delving into the country's vibrant culinary scene.
It's like a whirlwind of experiences.
It really is.
But she manages to tie it all together seamlessly.
She does. She has a real knack for weaving together these seemingly disparate threads.
Totally.
And it's not just about entertainment either. Liat's work is also incredibly insightful. She has a way of looking at the world that's both fresh and thought-provoking.
Yeah, and one of the things I found particularly interesting was her take on the Israeli tech scene. Yeah. She's clearly passionate about disruptive technology and the companies that are trying to break into the U.S. market.
Right.
But she also has this keen understanding of the challenges and opportunities that come with innovation.
And that understanding comes from her own experiences. Remember, she has that background in engineering and business.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So she's not just talking the talk, she's walked the walk.
Exactly. And that makes her insights all the more valuable.
Absolutely.
She's not just an observer, she's a participant in the world of innovation.
And that's why I think businesses would really benefit from collaborating with Liat. She has this unique ability to connect the dots, to see the bigger picture, to identify the trends that are shaping the future.
Totally. She could be an incredible asset to any company looking to expand their reach, especially in the tech sector. She understands the market. She understands the culture.
She does.
And she has this proven track record of connecting with audiences.
Absolutely. I think anyone with a curious mind would find something to love in the Liat Show.
Speaking of curious minds, I have to bring up this recurring theme of time that runs throughout Liat's work. It's like she's inviting us on this grand adventure through time, exploring how different cultures perceive and experience it.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, that question of, will I make it on time? It's woven into so many of her stories. It's almost like a puzzle she's inviting her audience to solve, piece by piece.
I love that. Makes you wonder what she means by on time, right?
Right.
Is it about punctuality? Is it about achieving certain milestones in life? Or is it something deeper, something more existential?
I think that's the beauty of it. It's open to interpretation. Liat's giving us the pieces, but it's up to us to assemble the puzzle and find our own meaning.
And that's what makes the Liat Show so compelling, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about passive listening. It's about active engagement. It's about thinking critically, asking questions, exploring different perspectives.
Yeah. And it's about connecting with Liat on a personal level. Remember, she's not just a voice on a podcast. She's a real person with a real story to tell.
And she's inviting us to be a part of that story, to join her on this journey of discovery, to explore the world through her eyes, and to discover the answers to our own questions along the way.
You know, it's really inspiring to see someone like Liat, an independent creator, building such a dedicated and engaged following. It speaks volumes about the power of authenticity and the hunger for meaningful content in today's world.
It really does. It gives you hope that even in a world dominated by algorithms and big media companies, individual voices can still break through and make a difference.
And that's why it's so important to support creators like Liat by subscribing to her channels, becoming a Patreon member, leaving reviews, spreading the word. We're not just supporting her work, we're supporting a vision.
A vision of a world where storytelling has the power to connect us, to inspire us, and to help us understand each other better.
Exactly.
And that's a vision worth investing in.
Yeah.
So how can our listeners join this movement and become a part of the Liat Show community?
Well, I mean, the first thing you can do is just subscribe, right? Subscribe to the Liat Show everywhere you can find it. Substack, Medium, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Patreon, the whole 9 yards.
Hit that subscribe button, yeah. And don't forget to leave a review, too. That always helps, Helps more people discover her work.
Yeah, those reviews can really make a difference. And speaking of YouTube, remember, Liat's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so she can be nominated for that Rising Star Award.
Oh, right.
It's a fantastic opportunity for her. It could really help her gain wider recognition.
Yeah, every subscriber counts.
For sure.
But it's not just about the numbers, right? It's about being a part of something special, something that's challenging how we think about storytelling and how we connect with different cultures.
Absolutely. And, for those who want to take their support a step further, becoming a founding member or an annual member on Patreon is a great way to directly support Liat's work. And you get access to exclusive content, too.
Oh, nice. That's cool. It's really amazing to think about this show created by one woman with just this passion for storytelling. It's already reached listeners in 75 countries and 31 states.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It really shows you the power of genuine connection, right?
Yeah.
And the universal appeal of a good story well told.
It really does. It's a testament to Liat's talent and her ability to connect those personal experiences with these broader cultural insights.
For sure.
She's not just sharing information, she's creating an experience, a journey that invites listeners to see the world in a new way.
And that question she keeps asking, will I make it on time? It really sticks with you,
Yeah.
Even after the episode's over.
It does.
Makes you think about your own life, your own journey, your own concept of time.
It's a powerful reminder that time is precious, and we get to choose how we spend it. Liat's work encourages us to be present, be curious, embrace the unexpected.
I love that. So if you're looking for a show that'll challenge you, expand your horizons, leave you feeling inspired, the Liat Show is definitely worth checking out. Who knows, maybe you'll even discover the answer to that question. Will she make it on time?
Yeah, the journey's definitely worth it.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive, and we'll see you next time.